So welcome everyone for joining. I really do appreciate everyone coming into the space and to give of your time and your energy for this sacred work. And it is the Equinox energy that we're going to be focusing on. And there's quite a bit that's actually come through for us to focus on and to bring forward for the Equinox energy. And this morning, as I was sitting in reflection and just thinking about the energies and really what is being asked of us, and, you know, I've always spoken about this as being sacred work. And what came through was really the focus on the word sacred. And what they were sharing this morning, and this is something for all of us to really kind of invite into our space. And to expand this sacredness, because we look at things like this, you know, when we're stepping into the space of being of service, you know, when we are offering our time and opening up our field and creating this unified field in our intention and in our energy to bring in healing for the collective. Yes, it is sacred. It's very sacred for us to do that. But what they were saying is expand your consciousness, expand your awareness, and realize that every moment is sacred. And I thought that that was really quite powerful when we come into this awareness point that everything we do is sacred. It's not just moments like this when we are unified and anchoring in healing intentions for the collective. What they are asking us to really hold in our awareness and invite into this space is that we are sacred within us. We are a channel of that divine essence. The divine is flowing through us, through all time and space. And all we've done is in this moment of time that we are all joined together, we've created one container for that. But in our own time and space, as we're engaging in our day and we're doing our activities, it was just like the normal, ordinary activities. I suddenly really became aware of it. So after my morning practice, you know, I drove my son to school and I was like, this is sacred. The divine, you know, like I'm a channel for the divine. The divine is flowing through me all the time. And if I can really open up to allowing that, expanding my field, allowing that to flow through me, then we are in service all the time. And I know me, you know, after these kind of classes, whenever we do this type of work, I'm such a sop. I always get so teary because I'm so grateful to everyone. And I really feel the gratitude from Gaia and from the collective, you know, this deep nourishment that they've received from the work that's being done. And it always elevates my field, you know, I always feel this peace and this joy and such gratitude, and it sits there for days. And I was suddenly aware of, like, why is it that we're only connecting to these tiny moments of sacredness, you know, when we step into doing this type of work? And suddenly I thought, like, wow, when I connected to the fact that everything we do is sacred, that essence of pure bliss and joy and expanding gratitude was just there the whole time and space. Like even while I was eating, I thought, wow, this is a sacred moment. So I really invite you to expand into that, because our work is, and the words I'm hearing is infinite. We are always a vessel for the divine. We are only in awareness of one aspect of that as we connect to the I, you know, the human I. But within our wholeness, we are an expression of the divine. And we can express that divine through all time and space. So that was a real kind of light bulb moment for me this morning as I was kind of connecting into the space. And it really brought me into this deeper reflection about what is the equinox. Because the equinox is the time where we are unified through the entire planet, where the whole planet's in this unified moment of equal day and equal night, which is the polarity. It's the masculine, the feminine, the day, the night, the light, the dark, right? And what we are working with, the equinox energy, creates that portal for us to really access sacred union, where we bring this sacred union into our entire field, where we unify that. And it really expanded into, right, sacredness isn't just, if we're only connecting to sacredness as these pockets of time, and all the other things we're doing in the day as not being sacred, can you see that we're not unified in our thinking and in our being? And it's to really, as we come into this wholeness, as we come into sacred union with the divine that is flowing within us, can we really expand? So there was just this deeper expansion of this dualistic energy that we are always in experience of. Can we really unify a field? Does that resonate as I speak for everyone? Does that kind of, and how beautiful, when we come into this practice and how we feel afterwards, just to think while you're eating your lunch or while you're eating your dinner or, driving, like the school run is not that interesting, right? It's really not. And just to think, wow, what a blessing, what a gift to be able to do this today. My teenage son didn't think so, but I did. I thought it was magnificent. He couldn't quite get me at that point. But yeah, it really just made me think about everything that we do every day that we forget about. And I guess this is really part of the practice that we are invited to expand on, is to expand into what we see as our ceremony, as our ritual, as our practice, and expand it, create that union between that and the rest of the day, right? Or the rest of the week, depending on how often you come into your practice. For us to be in that sacred union and to return back into that oneness and that wholeness, so we can anchor that in. So that was really something that I thought was quite beautiful that came forward today for the practice tonight. And the other thing that, again, thinking about what we are in experience of, and when we look at the collective field, and, I feel like I've been saying this almost every global meditation that we do, there is a lot of density, there is a lot of distortion. And this is why it's so important for us to be doing these types of ceremonies or coming into this type of space where we can anchor in healing frequencies for the collective. And at the moment, we are really being asked to be very clear in our intention. So when we step into our meditation practice tonight, the ask that came through was that we are very clear in our intention to be unified and to hold that space of oneness so that we can anchor in some healing codes for the collective. There is a huge wound and rift of separation that the collective is trying to heal. And this really comes forward, for those of you who did the 2-2 portal meditation with me, you'll remember that we really worked on the heart wound. And there is a deep grief in the collective field of separation. And as we are working through this year and next year as well, we are healing. The collective is working on healing that so that we can start to really embody that frequency of unity. It is so important that we start to hold that frequency of unity within the collective. Because, it's essential to our advancement as a species and for the healing of the collective at the moment. So that's really something that they were quite clear about. In fact, they were quite stern about it. And I was like, well, we always are quite clear in our intention, you know, to be unified within that one breath and that one heartbeat. So the ask was that before we step into the meditation, as I'm talking, the invitation is for each of us to really set that intention, knowing that, you know, as we're looking around the screen, that we intentionally open up and connect into each other's field, but also that this meditation is held within the quantum field. We always 0 point these meditations within the quantum field, which means that they are there through time and space. So the invitation is to set your intention to that 0 point field, so that through time and space, if anyone comes into this quantum entanglement that we are creating, that they can really flow into that and assist in what we are doing. And talking about the quantum entanglement, if we think about that quantum entanglement, that distortion of separation, of control, that distortion that we are in experience of within the field, the other ask was that as we work with the frequencies which are coming through today, that we actively visualize that that is breaking down and dissolving. So if you can imagine that quantum field, however you want to, you know, like scribbled lines or weaves, and if you imagine them as, you know, in distortion, just see them. So the image that came to my mind is, so I don't know what you have here. I don't really take tablets. I don't really know the names of tablets. But when we grew up, we had this tablet. It was like an effervescent. I think it was called Disprin. Nina, do you remember? Disprin, right? So for those of you who don't know, Nina's my twin brother. So, and you used to like drop it into water and it was like effervescent and it just dissolved. Yeah. So there must be something, you know, each of us in the countries that we're at would have something similar to that. So our intention is going to have that same effect within the quantum entanglement of separation. It will dissolve that distortion, the coding within the quantum field that is keeping us locked into that distorted bandwidth of separation, of disempowerment. Okay, that is keeping us separate to our sovereignty. It's keeping us separate to our truth, to our power. And it's really important, particularly this year. The year 8 is all about us standing in our sovereign truth and our sovereign power. It's this clear golden channel of light that comes down our chakra center. Okay, so this is what we're working on anchoring in this year. And the meditation tonight, we're going to work on clearing that. We'll be working with the violet flame. So I think most of you have done some type of violet flame meditation with me. And I know in the classes that I teach, we've been working on the violet flame. So you guys are all on top of the violet flame. But the violet flame, the reason we're working with the violet flame is because the violet flame actually has 2 parts. It has the masculine and the feminine. The blue flame is the masculine element. It's about the power, it's about the truth. So it clears the pathway. And then the pink flame that makes up the violet flame is the feminine. So we're actually working with the flame that carries both masculine and feminine, which is what Equinox is about. Masculine, feminine, light, dark. And it's bringing that balance. So if we think about Equinox, it's all about, so your keyword is balance. Okay, so by 0 pointing our intention in the quantum field, we're right in the center of that balance consciousness. We're opening up the field to infinite possibilities, infinite potential. So our collective intentions, as we open up that space into the infinite, as we join in that intention, we can really, I hear the words paradigm shift. which would be amazing in terms of the separation and the disempowerment. Again, what's coming through, it's time for us to be returned. It's time for our power to be returned to us. And it's time that we start leading from that place in the collective field. So we all know I have potential to talk. So I am going to step back a little bit and just open up the space to ask if or invite anyone to share anything or ask any questions, or if you've got any reflections on what I've shared, or if you've got any questions because you don't understand what I've shared. It's like, hey Nikki, what does this mean? Please feel free to unmute yourself and step into the space. Are we good? Yeah? Okay. All right. Well then, shall we go? All right. So let's get all the music ready.
Nikki, I will say
Yes.
that I've been thinking about, and I've heard that before, just being in a space of appreciation for everything.
Mm.
That resonated to me because I've heard it before, but just being, we take it for granted that we woke up, that we're doing these things. Like you said, driving your son to school, or appreciation of having this opportunity to do this with you. You're in another part of the world.
Yeah.
Like when I get into my mood, I'm trying to really get back to that point of like just appreciating and being thankful for these moments, the lessons. You know what I've been through, right? But even appreciating that to get me to where I am now. So when you said that, my skin,
Resonated.
yeah. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing that. I mean, I must say, most of you know me. I've been teaching this type of work for a really long time, but each time we come back to something, we always come back to it with a deeper level of understanding, a more expanded consciousness, and we're able to embody something. It really sits in our body frequentially. It becomes part of us. And that's also what you're sharing there, Antonio, like you could actually feel it coming through your body. And that really just kind of blew me away this morning because, I do have a gratitude practice, and I'm very, I don't know if the word's regimental, but I don't compromise on my morning practice, my evening practice. And I really try and be in a space of devotion every day through the day. But this piece that came through about sacredness, how every moment is sacred, purely because we're breathing, because the breath is so sacred, right? Just really kind of made me see everything so differently. It's almost like, oh, someone switched the light on. It really gave me this different lens for the day. So yeah, the invitation is really to play with that as much as you can, because particularly, and again, this is easy, when we're going through a really flowful and abundant and harmonious time, we can be grateful and we can be in a place of peace and be really resonant with that. But when we're going through some deep, let's say, dark night of the soul, and everything is feeling challenging, then how do we engage with that? And even inviting this, well, this is a sacred moment, into that experience can really shift how you engage with that experience and how quickly you can alchemize that experience. And as you were saying there, Antonio, what you can learn from the experience really catalyzes that for us. Okay. So if we're ready, then what we'll do is we'll get ready for the meditation. I'm going to invite everyone to get into a nice, comfortable position. I'm going to just adjust my music settings. Okay. So can we hear the music? All right, brilliant. Okay, so just before we get into the meditation, again, because we are holding so much for the collective, the intention is to bring this healing in for the collective. As always, as every meditation that, I run, the invitation always is for you to look after yourself. Okay. As I'm guiding you, if you feel that there's a lot coming up for you and you can't progress, just come back to the breath, work with the breath. If you feel that there's too much intensity, you're always welcome to step out. Okay, it's important that you always look after yourself because you are this vessel for this energy. So you may be experiencing some of the density. Okay, and if that feels too difficult, please look after yourself. Okay. Alrighty, and then again, also if you need to move your body, if you need to stand up, most of you know that I will probably step into light language, I'll be coding, so you work with the frequencies and the energies however you are guided to. If you need to move, if you need to code, if you want to start singing, you're muted, so you're fine. Okay, please do that. Allow yourself to be a vessel for what's flowing through, for what the collective needs. Okay, so the invitation is to start dropping into the space. And we're going to really drop into the space slowly. First in our awareness. So as we are inviting our awareness into the space, I'm going to open up the meditation on the sound of 3. And as we're slowly inviting our awareness deeper into the space, inviting our energy into the space. We invite our intention. And here the intention is to be the sacred vessel, to be this open channel of the divine, and to bring the healing, the sacred codes, the frequencies which are needed for the collective in any way. So we allow that to flow through us in the way that they need to. So we're not going to guide that, we're just allowing ourselves to open up to being the sacred vessel. And we're expanding that and holding that intention of being the sacred vessel as a oneness, as we unify as this one vessel. So inviting the breath into that intention to become unified, to become a vessel, one vessel, to allow the sacred, to allow the divine to flow through, and to bring the healing that is required for the collective. And very gently and slowly we presence our awareness into the breath now. And there's a slow invitation of the breath into the body, slowly inviting the breath through the tip of the nose into the body. And we gently invite our awareness into this noticing of the breath, coming into this one breath, noticing as the breath is received in the body, receiving it in each cell of the body, allowing it to gently move into and through the body. Inviting the breath deeper into the body. Feeling the breath Slowly dropping through the layers of the body and moving into the root chakra. Taking a moment to connect with the breath here in the root chakra. And this invitation of receiving the breath in the body, this connection to the root, feeling centered and rooted through the breath into the body. And presencing your awareness now on that out breath. So from the root space we notice the out breath. Notice this gentle releasing, this gentle relaxing, this letting go, this opening, and the surrendering. And the invitation as we connect with the root chakra and the out breath in the root chakra. The invitation is to fully surrender into that out breath. Allowing yourself to be held in the out breath, in the root chakra. Surrendering the breath, releasing the breath, allowing the breath to travel through the root chakra and into the earth grids, connecting into our Earth Mother. And as we connect into the Earth Mother, we bring our awareness into the dance between the in-breath and the out-breath. Noticing the movement of the breath from our body into the Earth Mother as we breathe in and continue to receive. And in this out breath as we continue to release and surrender, we drop in deeper and notice the sensation of being held and supported by our Earth Mother. Really drop into that. Invite your awareness and your breath to fully drop into that. Feeling this connection, knowing that we are here to be in service to the Earth Mother. As this one vessel, as this one in-breath, as this one heartbeat, we're here to be of service, to hear what she needs, and to allow that to flow through us. Each breath receiving what we need, each breath surrendering, releasing into the Earth Mother. We keep presencing our awareness here, just holding into this connection. Knowing that if all we can do in our meditation tonight is be here in our breath with the Earth Mother, that is more than enough. And if we can progress, then we progress. But if we need to come back here for safety and agency, then we do, we come back here. Inviting the breath into the body now, And as we invite the breath into the body, we come into the heart space. So in our awareness, the connection with the Earth Mother is always intact. The breath moving in and being received and being surrendered to the Earth Mother is always intact. All we're doing is expanding our breath awareness and our attention into the heart space. And the invitation as we expand the awareness of the breath into the heart space is that the breath guides us deeply into that connection, into the heart, into the one heart, into the sacred heart. Letting each breath guide you into the heart, gently opening the sacred heart. Each out breath surrendering, releasing any discomfort, any dis-ease, any distortion. And as each new breath we take opens the sacred heart, so we may be guided and anchored in as a collective into the sacred heart. And as the breath guides us into the center point of the heart, we deeply connect into the resonance of the heart, feeling the sacred heartbeat. And our unified intention as a unified, sacred vessel, we feel the sacred heartbeat. Taking a slow, deep, gentle breath, allowing the breath to guide you deeper into the connection with the sacred heartbeat. Softening and letting go with each out breath, fully surrendering. Coming back into the resonance of the sacred heartbeat. There's this one breath. And there's this one unified field, feeling the heartbeat, feeling it vibrating through every cell in our body. And from this center point of the sacred heart, we invite the breath into the 0 point of the quantum field. Setting the intention that through our visualization and through our breath, we are receiving the codes, the frequencies, and the healing to help heal the collective from the wound of separation, from the distortion of separation, from the suffering of disempowerment. From the suppression of truth and sovereignty. We invoke the violet flame, and visualizing in your mind's eye the powerful violet flame the flame of alchemy, the flame of transmutation. And we zero point that flame in the quantum field, in the center of the sacred heart, with the clear intention that the flame transmutes, dissolves, transforms all distortion within the quantum field. And as a one breath within the one heartbeat, we simply breathe the violet flame, breathing it in and surrendering fully into the violet flame, releasing, radiating the violet flame through the quantum field. Feeling the pulse of the sacred heartbeat as you continue to come to your breath, as you continue to come to the vision of the violet flame. We're fully surrendering to the violet flame, seeing and feeling how the violet flame is dissolving the distorted coding, the suffering, and the density within the quantum field. And for the next couple of minutes, we just keep coming to the breath, holding this image, holding the intention within our oneness, in our one heartbeat, as one vessel, fully surrendering into the flame, allowing the flame to move through time and space, expanding into the breath, receiving more and more of the sacred codes as we hold the space for the collective healing. Na shaye na ka ta ishka na saye na ta shaye na ka na shaye na saye shaye na saye na tara ka shaye saye na ka na tara shaye sana ta 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 tara Kashaye sa na ta ishka na ta ishka na ra ishka saye na shaye na kara ishka na saye ta ishka na sa na ishka Slow deep in breath, centering into the feel of that one heartbeat. Holding that vision as one sacred vessel of the distortion and the density dissolving and being alchemized into harmony, into oneness, into peace, into stillness, into joy, into safety, into connection, into expansion, and into love. hold that intention in your breath. Keep dropping into the breath awareness, the vibration of the heart, holding the image of the violet flame as we anchor in the higher codes and the higher frequencies. Kana e shaya na e ishka na e ta e sana e shaya na e kara e sa e na e ta ishka e na e sa e kara e na e shaya na e r e na es tu na e shaya na e ra tu na ishk na e ru ta iska e sha e ma e sa na e sa sha sa na ra e sh e sa e na e sa e na e sha e sa na e ra e ka ish. Slow deep breath, anchoring in the intention for harmony and balance. Holding and radiating the intention for harmony, balance, unity and wholeness. Taska e shaye na e ra e ta ishka na e sa e na e kra e shaye sa na e ta ishaye na e ra e sa e shaye sa e shaye na sa e shaye na e ta ra e sa e shaye na e kra e na e ska esh. Centering in on the breath again, coming back into that 0 point field. Presencing your awareness on the resonance of the heartbeat within the 0 point field. Just holding the image of the quantum field, clear of the distortion. Seeing a golden timeline of peace, of harmony, of oneness for the collective, of health, of abundance, of love and prosperity. Continue to find space in the breath to expand in the breath and expand in holding as one vessel, that intention, that vision for the collective. Sana e, sha e, ta ish, kana e, ta e, sa e, na e, kra e, sha e, sana e, sha e, na e, kra na e, sha e, sa e, na ta es, sha e, na e, ra e, sha e. On the next in-breath, the invitation is to recenter into the sacred heart again, that 0-point field within the sacred heart. And here we just hold the image of the violet flame. As we continue to receive as one heartbeat with the one breath in our unified vessel, we continue to receive the violet flame and continue to radiate the violet flame. Now, working with the breath, we slowly take that intention, we take the breath, we take the violet flame down through the body, down into the root chakra. Expanding further, moving through the root chakra and connecting into the Earth Mother. And we place the violet flame into the Earth Mother, allowing her to receive the sacred codes of healing and frequencies that we as this one vessel have brought forward. Working with the breath, keep surrendering and releasing. Surrendering the breath into the Earth Mother. Seeing the breath and the violet flame moving through the earth grids, deeply anchoring in the healing, the frequencies and the codes. connection. So as we keep that connection into the Earth Mother, we recenter into the heart space. So again, the invitation, like earlier, is to hold the awareness of both. Is to come back into the heart space. And this time we come back into the heart space with deep gratitude. Breathing in a deep gratitude to each person who's working with us in tonight's container. And in the quantum field, whoever entangles with this meditation, breathing in a deep gratitude to be of service, to open up into being this one sacred vessel, and this one heartbeat, and this one breath. And we release this breath of gratitude through all time and space, releasing it into the infinite. And very slowly and very gently, we bring our awareness back into our own space, gently pulling our energy back from the one vessel. So as we prepare to close the meditation back, we know that we can always come into this connection as this one sacred vessel, as this one sacred breath. But it is also important that as we continue with our day or our evening or our morning, and as we close the meditation, that we step back into our own energy field. So stepping back into your space with love and gratitude, pulling your energy back. Really feeling that heart space for yourself, feeling that connection to your Earth Mother, seeing those grids activated with the codes, seeing and visually having that imprint of the quantum field healed from the distortion. And we recenter into our own awareness of our own space and our body. And gently bringing the breath back into our body, feeling the body from the toes all the way to the head. Maybe inviting some movement back into the body to help you come back in fully. Very gently taking that last in breath. And as you release the breath, we close the space and we close the meditation. Taking your time to come back in, opening your eyes as and when you're ready. The space is now closed.